Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching today. Welcome back to Planet Zoo, another speed build here on the channel. And this one is going to be for the Eurasian Lynx, one of the new animals that we just got with the European pack that launched last week-ish sometime. I think it was about a week ago. My whole understanding of time and my days have kind of meshed together with how busy I've been, so I think it was about a week ago or so. But we already built for the badger, and when I first got my hands on the pack and saw what animals were there, it was quite a hard decision between the badger or the lynx on which one was going to be my favorite animal. In the end, the badger won out, so I decided to build for that one first, but in very close second is the Eurasian Lynx. So that's what we're building for today. We aren't in any specific project that I have going on right now. This is just a one-off build in a blank map, just because I got a little bit of inspiration off of a picture I saw, and it didn't really seem like it fit within any of my current projects, but I still wanted to build it for you guys. So here we are. Before we jump too far into the video though, if you do end up enjoying the speed build, consider leaving a like down below. It really does help me out. And we're very, very close to 11,000 subscribers, and I would be very much appreciative if we could meet that by the end of the year. I think that would be fantastic. So if you want to be a part of that 11,000, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on any future Planet Zoo content, but also Jurassic World Evolution 2, Prehistoric Kingdom. We've got a few games going on the channel right now. Jumping into the build. So I saw a picture that looked absolutely nothing like this, but it was basically some triangular kind of shade structures. It wasn't even really a habitat or anything. It was just kind of like a triangular pergola thing. And I thought to myself that it would make a really cool little enclosed habitat, especially because in this build, I really wanted to try to use some of the new European items that we got with the Europe pack, because in my badger habitat, I really didn't use a whole lot of them. So with this one, I tried to use not as many as I possibly could, but a fair amount of some of the new pieces. You can see the entire frame of this first part of the habitat is built off of the marquee support beams, I think is what they're called. Beautiful pieces, because they're very plain, very simple. They come in fabulous sizes, really long, kind of medium, and really short. And I absolutely love that we got little versatile pieces like that added with the Europe pack. I also put down one of the decals already, which we'll use quite frequently. That one happens to be the moss, but we also got like the exposed brick, some like grime or like cracks or something like that. I really haven't explored those ones too much, but the decals really do a lot to add to the builds, right? Little tiny details and a little bit of realism with those decals is what you can achieve. Now, there was a little bit of a cut in the footage. I apologize. I thought I was recording and I wasn't. I didn't do too much though, thankfully. All I basically did was put in some of those grapevines, which was one of the major inspirations for this build. As I got started, I decided that it would be kind of cool if we had like a little habitat that was on a vineyard. I mean, maybe this is a vineyard that rescued these lynx or I don't know. You know, they have a zoo as well, or it just used to be a vineyard, and when the zoo bought it, they continued to have the grapevines. I don't know. Fill in the blanks. You can come up with whatever story you wanted to, but I just thought it would be kind of cool because we got those grapevines and little itty bitty grape pieces I think are really cool, and I wanted to utilize those as well. But working on a little building right here that's, you know, European inspired, I guess. I love those little shutters we got, as well as some of the plants and stuff that I'll use around this habitat. I think it's called the cork oak tree, I think is what it's called, and like the olive tree. Really like the foliage that came with the new pack, because I absolutely love the colors and the textures of it. But this building, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab some of these decals and do some exposed brick around some of the little walls and things like that, but also have a grapevine kind of growing up and around the corner of it, just to give it some detail on the front. This is meant to be kind of where the backstage stuff would be. I didn't end up putting any sort of actual, what are those called? Like keeper huts or anything like that in it. It's just an empty building. But that brings me to my most exciting point of the video, I think, is I've actually already uploaded this on the workshop. I know, pat myself on the back. I'm terrible at that usually, but I didn't suck this time. I actually decided to get this up on the workshop as soon as I finished building. I threw it up there for you guys, so you guys are able to do with this whatever you'd like. It is just uploaded as a blueprint, not like a habitat blueprint. So the terrain, the very slight terrain work that we end up doing in the actual habitat doesn't actually show up, but I do leave some like green signs to kind of show you where the little pond should be and where to, how high up off the ground to place this, so everything should look right. And all you have to do is run the pathing and get everything connected to the barrier. You just use 100% null barrier around the inside cage area and you should be set to go. So if you do end up using this in one of your projects, if you end up downloading it, changing it, or anything like that, do share some pictures. I would be very curious to see where you guys take this, what you do with it. If you do end up wanting to share pictures, you can always send them to me, tag me in on Twitter, you can tag me on Instagram, or you can share them in our Discord server. Links to all three of those places are down below. And while we're on the topic of social media, I actually did fall down the rabbit hole that is TikTok. So I have a TikTok now. If you are interested in giving it a follow, the link is going to be down in the description as well. I've really been enjoying doing these like reels, shorts, TikToks, whatever you want to call them. They're short form content. Every platform calls them something else, but they are the same thing essentially. And just kind of sharing some of the animations of the in-game animals that they do with their enrichment items, or just showing them off in general when they're new. So that's what I have been up to recently. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing more of those, you can follow me on all those platforms down below. Before the video is over, because this is a shorter one, I do actually have some Eurasian Lynx information. So let's go ahead and jump into that right now, starting with their geographic range. Eurasian Lynx are one of the most widely distributed cat species. Their range once extended through Russia, Central Asia, and Europe. Today they occupy a range extending from Western Europe through the Russian boreal forests and to the Tibetan Plateau and Central Asia. Eurasian lynx distribution is greatly limited by the presence of humans and their activities. They are less frequent in areas with many settlements, roads, railways, and highways, as these increase fatality and injury. Also, because they tend to shy away from open areas, lynx distribution is dependent on regions with high forest cover as well as forest connectivity, so that they can move around from one place to another. Deforestation in regions throughout parts of their range limits forest connectivity and hindering dispersal of the Eurasian lynx through Europe and Asia. So not new information as far as some of the animals that need things like forests to live, right? Deforestation is threatening a lot of different species, especially when they tend to stay in the forest. And what this is saying is there's habitat fragmentation where the forests aren't connecting to one another. So the lynx are not able to kind of utilize their entire range if they're kind of stuck to one specific patch of forest. Moving on to, let me scroll down because I wanted to talk a little bit about their behavior. There's honestly not too much information here, but we'll talk about it anyway. As solitary creatures, the only long-lasting relationship formed in Eurasian lynx is between mother and cub. They are most active during early morning and the evening. When they're not active, they spend their time resting under the cover of thick brush, tall grasses, or in trees. They are mainly terrestrial, but are adept at climbing and swimming. So they are going to be kind of secretive, solitary creatures, which is one of the reasons why I don't think there's a whole lot of information on here, because creatures like that are pretty hard to study. But yeah, just a normal cat, I guess. When they're not doing cat stuff, they're sleeping. They're hanging out and sleeping and hiding. But I thought it was really cool that it said, you know, long-lasting relationships between mother and cubs. You can definitely see that as I was looking around and watching the animals in game kind of run around. The little babies, all they do is follow mom. Wherever mom goes, they run after her, and I think that's absolutely adorable, and love that that is integrated into the game as well, because it sounds like that's true. Cubs and mother form long-lasting bonds. Very last thing that I want to talk about is their conservation status, of course. Habitat loss to deforestation, prey loss due to game hunting, and illegal hunting and trapping for fur trade are the main threats to the Eurasian lynx. Commercial hunting is illegal in all countries except for Russia, and Eurasian lynx are protected in Afghanistan, where all hunting and trading is illegal. In the 1960s and 70s, some Eurasian lynx were reintroduced into Germany, France, Austria, and Switzerland, and these populations have been successful in some areas. They are listed on the IUCN Red List as least concern, so that is awesome to see that they aren't, endangered or threatened or anything like that. But it does sound like if deforestation and things like illegal hunting continue, that could potentially change. But for now, listed as least concern, which is what we like to see. Moving back to the build, actually before I do that, as always, if you guys have more Lynx information, other fun facts that I didn't go over, do leave those down in the comments below. You guys are absolutely phenomenal at filling me in on information that I don't already have, especially when it comes to like dinosaurs and things like that. When we've been doing our Jurassic World 2 content, you guys are phenomenal with leaving down facts down below, and so I really do appreciate it. So that being said, if you do have any about the Eurasian lynx, don't hesitate. Please let me know, because I love to learn about animals and I love to learn about different things. Going back to the build very, very quickly because we really don't have too much more to add. I am filling in these blank spots in the top of the enclosure so it doesn't just look like it's wide open where they could climb up and out, but just using these little pieces the best I can. Again, I don't match it up absolutely perfectly in these little corners because from a distance you really can't tell, and the lynx can't escape anyway, so it does function as an actual habitat. But getting that done, and I really honestly think the only thing left would be the couple little vineyards on either side, some background trees just to make it look like it's not plopped in the middle of a big empty plain, and then some information sign and benches to make it look like it is part of an actual facility that would be open to guests so that they could come and be viewed and stuff like that. The trees that I'm using on the outside, those are the cork oak trees. For some reason, that is the hardest thing for me to say, but those are the cork, see, there I go, cork oak trees. Love them. They are so pretty and I love their textures. I feel like they are going to be a staple in every single kind of temperate zoo that I make from here on out because I love the texture of the leaves and the colors and things like that. I can be real particular when it comes to foliage and where I don't really like super bright green things, and then I don't really like the gray kind of blue hued green things. I don't know, it's green. There's a certain color of green that I just absolutely love. But speaking of green, our vineyards are very, very green. So we're going to do a little one over here and a little one on the other side, just as kind of backdrop. We're going to surround everything in this fence as well. Just finish up some of the pathing and all that kind of stuff. Excuse me, tripping over my words. And that's about it. So as we wrap up, there are going to be some end cinematics as always. So I do hope you enjoy those. If you did end up enjoying the video and you made it this far, do leave me a like down below. I really do appreciate it and it greatly helps out the channel. Consider hitting that subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on any future content. And as always, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!